Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us to the live talk show where we talk for, by, and with international students about topic that is very concerning but never has been spoken about. So I'm Anjali Dua, your host for today, recently graduated from the University of Melbourne, pursuing Masters of Management in Marketing. Today we have a very special person, and I'll tell you why he's special, but he's very inspirational, very unique in our cohort, and as what his name also speaks about. So while I will let him speak about himself, but a little sneak peek about his life. He has started his own podcast for people like us looking for well-being and employability. He is quite proactive talent specialist within the digital space itself. So I'll ask Tarzan to just let me not speak more about you and continue for it. So Tarzan, tell us about yourself. How did the journey start? Tell us who the real Tarzan is.
Hi, Anjali. Thank you for having me. And hi, everybody. Yeah, my name is Tarzan, and yep, I think there might have been a bit of an internet problem as well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Tarzan, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Tarzan, and I'm currently an third year student at MIT. I'm studying telecom engineering.
Yeah. And you are from Southern East Asia itself?
Yeah, I'm from Nepal. Sorry, I think my internet is really bad.
No worries, Tarzan. You can
Is
continue.
it good now?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good now.
Yeah, so my origin is from Nepal, and I came to Melbourne around 2018. And yeah, I'm studying at MIT. I'm a third year student as well. So yeah, I'm basically involved within the space of international student as well. I'm really passionate about supporting the employability factor and also the well-being factor of international student. And just like yourself, I love coming into this platform and having chat with people like from the similar background as well. And I'm more than happy to be here today.
Amazing. So, first question that I usually ask to all the people coming from overseas. So, why did you pick Melbourne and specifically your university? Why out of all the world? Why out of Europe, US? You wanted to come to Australia to strive your future.
Uh, yeah, that's a quite interesting. I actually was supposed to uh, go to US or Japan first, um, but when I started to explore the opportunity that was available for me abroad, and I had seen Australia at the top list as well.
Yeah.
Particularly talking about Australia was that I had few of the family members over here, and in compared to other countries, I found out Australia to be more acceptable for immigrants like ourselves as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, particularly talking about the college, it is one of the top college that I would prefer for my degree as well. So yeah, I felt Australia is a place that I could have my family members as well around me, and also this place was filled with a lot of immigrants. So I thought this is the best place for me.
Right. So, Tarzan, do you not think we were able to embrace so many cultures just living in one country, just because of diversity it carries? So, the moment you landed, how would the initial stage go like? Like, where did you work, or how did you even find job without having such a knowledge about that before?
Yeah, I like my story is similar to every international student struggling in Australia. I started working as a kitchen hand as well. The exploring hospitality sector for the survival of like even getting the financial stability as well.
Hmm.
And yeah, but not long after 2.5 years, it took me a bit of 2.5 years to actually figure out the ways we as an international student could explore to get professional roles. So I think I started to know more about personal branding and networking, and that's how I came to know about, oh, there is also a job for international student. I know it is hard for us to get the job, but in the meantime, there is way for like international student like ourselves to get the job in Australian market as well, like in professional job, not just for gig working or casual working in odd field, but in the field that we study as well.
Yeah. So, Tarzan, just one quick question about the employability. So, why do you think, being an international student, there might be a little? Do you agree on the statement how for us it might be little more struggle than people who are over here in local? Like we need to find our find our way to reach to a landing job or to reach to the destination we want. So, do you think there is a bit of a struggle that everyone goes through, whether said or unsaid?
Yeah, but every international student have their own struggles. Like my struggle might be different than yours, but I think one of the thing most of the international within international student is common is that we uh, we get to struggle the part of understanding the language itself first, because the Aussie accent is really a
Right.
bit of a strong for us. Like first thing comes is the language barrier that is a bit of hard for us. But I think everyone have their own different journey. I've seen people getting job on like very 3 months as well, and some people tend to not get job for 5 years as well. But I think one of the hidden thing we really talk about is the pressure that comes in the job seeking journey as well. Like we might see people getting job after 3 months, but we never know what the other international student is feeling when he sees next person getting the job. So I think the hidden thing within the space of international student is that there's this pressure behind getting job as well sometimes, which we really need to discuss as well, which is related to mental health as well.
Yeah. So, Tarzan, I feel you have made a very important point about how we tend to be very competitive, and the moment you hear someone getting job, the first thing that comes is to show our weakness, how we might not have it, instead of thinking it in a very positive light that there is a chance for you to get job as well. So, and again, that causes a lot of anxiety, a lot of those inner pressure that you bring for yourself. But apart from that, what has always been the most struggling point being a student over here, and what has been always the, I would say, the favorite part of coming to Melbourne?
um, do you mean
So,
more into the employability part?
yeah, any like what do you think for us or for you has been specifically the most struggling part? Like, where do you think the your struggle had lied? Is it more of finding job? Is it about the cultural shock, or is it about the language barrier?
I think it's a bit of a mix, a little bit of each aspect as well. Like the language was one of the issue when I started looking into this sort of thing, and also the cultural shock, because my whole upbringing was in Nepal, and then I
Hmm.
have like rarely seen tourists, because my home was into more industrial space, and I couldn't really see tourists out there. So coming over here, coping up with the culture and also coping up with the language was one of the struggle. But one of my biggest struggle was to get out of the comfort zone that I was already into, because I was so into earning the money from odd job, and then I like just the routine was to go to job, earn some
Hmm.
money, send it back home, and then just go to college and finish the assignment. I was not doing anything beside that, which I realized later on that the other part that you do beside your job and your uni is what really gets helps you get the job, or also helps you to network with local people and to even start a business.
Hmm. Right. And Tarzan, apart, I realize how you said about, shattering that comfort zone. So how did you, because it's very hard, it is very easy to say, but harder to experience. So how did you encounter breaking that comfort zone for you? Ah,
Sorry,
so
can you repeat that again, please?
Yeah. So, Tarzan, like, did you face difficulty while it came on breaking that comfort zone, doing something that might just estrange you somewhere? Because if you come to me,
Um,
I
yeah,
always in a very comfort zone. So for me,
I think I yeah. Yep. Yep. For me, breaking the comfort zone was, yeah, in the same terms of like breaking myself out of um the routine that I had from like just working to going to university. So one of the things that I did was during mid pandemic, I started joining these leadership labs and the various networking events that was happening online as well, even though we couldn't go in person as well. That's how I started. And I think one of the best way that I broke my comfort zone was actually talking with people and seeing the other side of like community as well. Because even though like vast majority of international student, we usually tend to have this follow the routine of work and then just go to the university. And there is also other half of international student who are actually doing like actively supporting each other, and also they are networking with a lot of people. So yeah, I just got inspired with a lot of people out there, and then yeah, I just tend to grow step by step. I didn't take a big leap first. I started with a small thing, joining this event, not talking too much, but as moving forward, I started to actually learn and also share this with other people as well.
right, Tarzan. So, Tarzan, you mentioned about, so though we'll be covering about more of networking on the next stage of our live talk, but you said something about going to events. So, what were those events? Were they networking events, or were they just the university events you attended?
Sorry, was that?
So, like for me, for having University of Melbourne, I remember going into a lot of
Uh,
right. Go for it, Tarzan.
Yeah, so particularly, I had few of the events that was done by my college. It was about, I think it was icebreaker games and those sort of kind.
Mhm.
But most of the event that I attended was through Study Melbourne and also City of Melbourne as well. Because I think like my college had a limited resources when it comes to event. And because they were trying to cope up themselves with trying to make online this learning a bit more flexible. But while in the meantime, well, they were trying to make themselves more feasible online and help students to study. The organizations such as Study Melbourne and also City of Melbourne Council itself, they were doing a lot of events. So most of the event that I attended was through these sort of other organizations.
Amazing, Tarzan. Again, there was this one thing that you spoke that I never realized after coming to Melbourne itself. So it took me a while to understand how could I approach to good events that could enhance my skills or even help me reach to like-minded people. So how, as Tarzan said about connecting to Study Melbourne or City of Melbourne, I would do ask all the people, all the viewers looking at the show to follow them, to watch on their events, because the way they manage is for international students specifically, and they target every kinds of department, every kinds of people, so that there's a level of inclusion in the environment, there's a level of a lot of comfort within the international students, and they tend to unleash their potential. So Tarzan, very good on that. So did you always know, or did you get to know about them through LinkedIn? As I saw how active you were, or you have always been in LinkedIn. So like that's how your journey.
Yeah, I actually got to know about them through. Yep. I actually got to know about them through Facebook, I guess. It was, I think I got lucky on that. because most of the time I was active on the social media such as Facebook and Instagram, and all of a sudden I saw this ad running by Study Melbourne. It says meet international students just like yourself, and I said, why not to meet few of the international students? And that's how I started. I didn't really use LinkedIn previously. It was just for the sake of having a personal profile. Just I had this account which was nothing but just a picture of me.
And how did meeting like minded people or going to that event, meeting new people, helped you?
Uh, yeah, they actually, when you meet group of people who believe in growing together, actually inspires you. Even though I never had a chance to meet them in person during
Mm,
lockdown, but each event that I went to, like people were never talking about negative things. Even though if I said I wanted to build a spaceship to Mars, they would say, okay, now what are the ways we could look into, It's like when you meet like-minded people, regardless of whether they are international student or even local people, there were local people who were interested to support this community of international students. So once I met this like-minded people, it was clear that yes, having a goal or having a growth mindset could actually lead you somewhere. Because I met a lot of international student co-founders as well who actually, being an international student, were able to take all those arts apart and actually build something. And that was really amazing for me.
yeah. So I would also like to share a story. So I was reading somewhere that says that whatever you want to aspire or whatever you want to be in future, just imagine that and start picking those people who have already achieved it. Because revolving around those people, being in part of those people makes you be the same one. So I think, yeah, you talk about this having like-minded people or being surrounded by people having the same passion mission really boosts you and again gives you a lot of motivation to just achieve what you want and how things get so easy when you have so many people going through the same thing. So Tarzan, I see how you are so active on LinkedIn. So, like, what is the reason behind? Because, especially for me, even writing a post on LinkedIn gets such a tiresome job because I would think of so many connotation and land up not writing one. And I see you doing brilliant posts and that too every day and never missing a day. So, how did it start? And tell us about the power of LinkedIn.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons that I started to actually post in LinkedIn was to um, get away to being active in this personal brand journey as well. Because once I realized the real importance of personal brand and networking, I found that LinkedIn was one of the best platforms that I could leverage. I said, how can I be active in this platform? Because I really didn't have much people in my network as well. So either I had to add 100 people one day, or I could come up in the platform, show up each day, and learn from other people, and that's how I started networking. And yeah, I think today is around 300 posts that I have posted till day on each day on LinkedIn. And yeah, but all of the posts that I actually do is related to what I really want to share with the people who are just like myself. I think like we learn from each other. Like there is nobody's will ever stop learning as well. Because even today, when I'm having this chat conversation with you, I'm actually learning a lot from you as well. Even somebody who is commenting in our live session as well, I'm learning from there as well. So I think LinkedIn is one of the best platforms that I found out for the part of learning as well. So I just thought, why not to post each day on this platform.
Yeah, definitely. LinkedIn gives you a lot of co-learning opportunities, and I see how Gulbahar is also watching our show, and I'm so glad he's liking for it. So thanks for that. But Tarzan, there's this one thing that I would want to ask: like, how do you come up with new topic or new content? So how do you realize that this one's good for you?
Yeah, but like when I started for the part of posting in LinkedIn, so my content was a bit of wide as well. So now I try to post on few of the topics such as international student network and personal branding. So So what I do is I think of what I have learned on the other day. Like usually I have a strategy for posting throughout the week, or if I don't have a strategy, I remember what I learned yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Like even today, when you and I are having a conversation, I just
Mm-hmm.
make it personal. People love to see a real post rather than a sugar-coated post about people talking about how they got a raise of 100K each day. It just LinkedIn is also a platform to be real. We can talk about mental health. We can talk about how you were able to make a smoothie on your first try. It's a social platform where nobody is judging. So the content that I share is all about what I really feel and what I feel that might be valuable for the next person, or what I really enjoy.
So, oh wow, B Margin says hi to us. Hi from our side as well. So you talk about a lot of, and now we have started
Hi.
watching the show as well. So when you Tarzan, when you talk about strategizing and when you talk about having organic posts, how did you? So is it how it stemmed through your blogger some? Because I realize how you're also a good blogger. So did this lead to being a blogger, or did it happen because you were a blogger and everything came hand in hand?
I think I used to do blogging before, but LinkedIn actually helped me to improve each day as well. Like, for example, if I posted only for 2 days, that wouldn't make really a difference. But posting every day for around 300 days helped me to improve each day, because I could see other people as well. Like when you start being active on the platform, you really know who is real and who is not, and you start filtering your network as well. Like for example, you and I got connected because you are really a real person as well. You were talking real talks and those sort of things. And I think in LinkedIn, when you start posting each day, you start learning about the way you could blog, or the way you could make a video as well. So yeah, it came one after another. I used to do vlogging, but I don't do it anymore at the moment.
Amazing points, Tarzan. So, for audience listening to us, he talked a lot about frequency. So, Tarzan was writing every day for 300 days, and that's how he landed up to a job. So, it is a more of consistency. He talked a lot about having organic content so that you tend to be a real person rather than someone just promoting something for, or having content that really does not make anyone matter. And he talked a lot about strategizing, so not about how you might want to write it now, but if you have a topic beforehand, if you know what this week what you're really targeting, you'll be able to achieve it, and things get easy on that side. So Tarzan, one more question. So how do, like, what is your everyday time spent on LinkedIn? Like, since you are so active, would you consider that having a good 1 2 hours?
I think I might be guilty of being active a lot in LinkedIn as well.
Y- Yeah, I can feel that.
Uh,
And
yeah,
so one,
yeah, but and I think
sorry, go for it.
yeah, you were saying something.
No, Tarzan, I was just wanting you to answer. I really need you to answer this because I was very curious, because I would see you investing so much time, and I would just wonder how would you always put so much of time or invest so much on LinkedIn when the life is, bonkering you from all the spheres.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is that like regardless of any social media that you use, it is up to you whether you consume the platform or you really leverage it for your own use. So whether it is even if it is Instagram or Facebook or even TikTok, like there are two kind of users. You could either be consumer or you could either be a producer. What I do is when I am really active on LinkedIn, um, I try to consume like 40%, and I try to produce more than 60% from that platform. So I try to balance that. But during pandemic and during those times around 2020, always on LinkedIn. Now I've tried to take a bit of time off, and have my own things in my life as well. But before, when I was starting, I knew I had to give a lot more so that I could really be stand out in this platform. So I think it is up to you, like whether you want to be a consumer or you really want to be a producer. It's totally up to you. No social media is good or bad. It's up to you how you leverage that platform, I would say.
Yeah, that's actually huge words. So, Tarzan, I would just want to ask one thing. I'm sure my friends would who are watching have this similar kind of question. How do you like what happens when you are ghosted? So you just text someone in terms of whether it's about mutual learning or about your seeking employment, and the person does not text you back, and this continues happening. So how do you motivate yourself to continue talking to people you really don't know with an expectation that there'll be a message coming back to you?
Uh, yeah, for the part of ghosting, like it depends upon what sort of person is ghosting. For example, I worked as a recruiter as well, and I know the the pain being a job seeker, and I know the pain being a recruiter as well. For the part of ghosting, I feel that we really don't need to brag somebody too much. So what we could do is we could simply send a reminder to the person saying that, hey, I was wanting to connect with you and hoping we could have a chat. If that person is not replying back as well, so I would say just try one time with a simple reminder, because you don't really want to make people feel mad with you as well. So I think the concept is just try once, and if not, we could, there is a lot of people out there. It's not just one person out
Mm,
there. Whether you are a job seeker, or whether you are a recruiter, or even whether you want to connect with a person who is really inspiring to you and you really want to connect with them, what you could do is you could simply go through their profile and do your best to know them, and
mm,
send them a personalized invite about
right.
why you really want to connect with them. And even though, if they after doing that much, even if they are not replying back, you could send a reminder in, and if not, just follow them, learn from them. You don't really have to connect with them as well. I would say take it positively.
Yeah, that's a good perception to see things when it when negativity jumps to you. So while you start networking, do you feel a little icky when you know you might need the person or would want to interact with the person for your own motives, while you don't have really a handsome thing to just have an interaction with him? So do you feel icky while networking with someone, or how do you deal with it?
Yeah, so when I really started networking with people, I had this mentality of thinking of what the next person is really gonna offer to me as well, because I had this concept of I needed a job. So my perception of networking was totally based on, I'm gonna have a chat with this person because I need the job. But I think when now what I really do is I don't really think of any thought on my mind when I'm having a chat with anybody out there. So like once we think of um, um, starting a really humanly conversation with somebody, it's going to be more easier. I know networking is really a topic of sometimes it is awkward, but the thing is that you need to realize that nobody is going to be your friend if you have a already motive behind that. So you got to establish a connection first with anybody out there, and then you could actually like create a bond, then they could help you as well. So that's what I think for the part of networking.
Yeah, that's a good thought. That's actually a good way of feeling empowered while networking, not feeling low, or having that inner pressure that you might have to also invest to that level if the person is helping you in such way. So just continuing on the same question, you said about sustaining it. So how do you sustain a long-term networks?
Uh, yeah. So, like, if you see people connected in my LinkedIn, so I have people from New Zealand to Canada, and also I have one of a few friends who are from US as well. Well, I connected them through LinkedIn. So I want to keep them long term. So one of the ways that I do for sustaining is even though I wouldn't be able to text them each day, what I try to do is I try to catch up with them once in a month, through text or anything, or even I try to get in touch with them through their post, because most of my network are really active on LinkedIn as well. So I try to comment on their post, and that's how you build like sustain the relationship. And if you really want to sustain the relationship, and if that person is not active on LinkedIn, what you could always do is you could, you know, organize a calendar invite with them, like in every 2 or 3 months. It's always better to have chat with people. It doesn't have to always be about you need any favor with them. It can be that just asking how they are doing, because the more you so care towards people in your network, the more they will support you when you really need them. That's what I believe.
Yeah. That's a good advice, Tarzan. I don't know about our viewers, but definitely I'm going to follow it. So, Tarzan, you talked about how posting led you having a job. Do you think that a person who might be seeking employability in LinkedIn should also follow the same way of, posting good contents, talking about himself, commenting on someone's post? Is this a good way of reaching out for employability, or do you have anything else in your mind?
Uh, I think first thing is you need to understand what really works for you as well. You could try different methods. Like for example, for me, like creating a post and commenting with people, like on people's post was a bit easier. So if that doesn't works for you, you could always try to reach out through DMs. But I think um, the simple concept is, why would somebody hire you? Like it's not just about the resume. What you could think LinkedIn is a way you could show that you are good at something, or the things that you value. For example, I'm in telecom industry, and I really want my job in the recruitment based industry for tech, tech people. So what I do is I saw my brand the way that I would like to represent tomorrow as well. Like I really want people to know that I know tech stuff, and I know stuff about personal branding. So what they could do is, for example, if you are an accountant, you could start posting about the thing about the ASX market that is happening, or the thing that you learn from zero as well. So posting in LinkedIn is not compulsory, but that would really help to show that you really know the thing that you are
Yeah,
trying to say that in your resume as well.
yeah, yeah. I feel now. Oh, yeah, we have a very, very interesting question that I would be
Yeah,
asking in the end. But Tarzan, why do
yeah,
you not answer for it? So, Word Palette asks, what does Stepping Zone do? So, is this an NPO, and what does it do for students?
yeah. Yeah, so it is a non-profit organization that me with five other international students we started during 2020. So the whole concept was to support the same employability and well-being of international students. So what we really do is we have a digital presence through Facebook, Instagram, and also LinkedIn. We try to empower students, international students mostly, in the aspect of employability. That might be about ways you could be um, getting employable, and also for the well-being part. And we also try to do a different event that could lead you to get more employable. We have done around 3 events. We have done one event with CWLC regarding the employability. So yeah, it is an organization that is trying to help international students in the space of employability and well-being, and in Melbourne at the moment.
That's a very thoughtful. I feel at the moment, especially during pandemic, not being able to meet, connect with people, we need organization like that. So, Tarzan, why don't you tell us how do we connect with the organization?
Yeah, so you could simply search for the organization in Facebook, Instagram, or even LinkedIn. I We can share the link in the comment. But yeah, if you could search my name or even the Stepping Stone in any social media, you will be able to find that organization.
Amazing. So, for all those people, so now we have my nanny too. So, for all those people and my nanny
Wow.
looking for jobs and might be struggling like me, Just step on internet, watch for Stepping Zone, and contact our amazing Tarzan. So Tarzan, as we go at the end of the show, I just Oh, we have a good question. So, Indian Care asks, as a person with a huge network, do you talk about mental health as Asians don't really talk about it openly? I think, yes, we do have a mentality not opening or disclosing about any mental sickness we experience through. And I feel it's only because we do have a perception that how the physical ailments is taken into something very seriously, the mental thing is always taken very callously. So Tarzan, what does stepping zone have to do with it?
Yeah. So in particularly what we think is me personally as well. I think yeah, this mental health issue definitely is not one of the topic that is widely talked within South Asian community. Me coming from Nepal as well, we think that talking about this sort of thing makes shows you weak. So what Stepping Zone does is we have not widely done about supporting mental health, but we do some of the digital push for the part of mental health, and we are trying to uh, we support in the well-being part as well. We did organize an event so that international students could get together. We organized an event in Couch, Melbourne as well. It was a month ago. So yeah, what we really think is within our space as well, we are always sharing like it is okay to like take a leave from any other platform. There has not there's n- like you don't really need a pressure to like whether you are job seeking or you posting in LinkedIn or any job you are doing, like the only thing really matters at the end of the day is you taking care of yourself. If you are stressing out, there are support within Melbourne as well. There are a lot of organizations that you could reach out to. Yeah, me being coming from Nepal as well, and I feel I have been in state of feeling stressed out, and I have openly mentioned in LinkedIn that I'm stressing out on these days, and yeah, and it is okay to say that you are not feeling okay. So you gotta take care of yourself. It doesn't matter what next person thinks about you. All it matters is at the end of the day, you looking after yourself.
A very important point that Tarzan made is it's okay not to be okay. Self care does not only involve of thinking or doing or caring yourself through physically, but also mentally, emotionally, and all internally. So thank you for making this point, Tarzan. I would also ask our viewers if they have any last minute questions before we would take a leave. And if not, I think. Oh, we have one question from Mujtaba who asks how not to feel icky while networking. Yeah, we do covered for it, but Tarzan, do you want to just give a snippet
Yeah,
about?
thank you for the question. I think, yep, Anjali.
No, 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 Tarzan, go ahead, go ahead. Please answer for that.
Yeah, yeah. I think thank you for the question, and I think first thing you need to do is when whether it is networking with people online or whether it is in person, you gotta understand the vibe of the room or vibe of the event, and it's always best to be confident on yourself. Like just don't think networking with anybody has to be a sales pitch. You don't need to go and propose with people talking about, oh, I am this, I'm studying this. Just try to make a humanly connection with anybody. I know, like, when I went to a networking event, I was so greedy to talk with each and every recruiter and each and every council people because I needed them, but it didn't work. After 7 months, when I met the same person and now I'm really close with them, they mentioned that everybody wants to talk with them because they know that the next person needs the job. So try to be yourself. You don't need to pressure yourself to push yourself to talk with every person in the room. Just be confident with yourself, see the vibe of the room or see the vibe of the room that is in online, and just start a humanly connection. Have a chat with people. Like, imagine if somebody is new approaches you with a sales pitch, would you like to be friends with them? The answer is no. Even I wouldn't. If somebody is pitching a sales thing to me in a networking event, I would say, ah, no, that guy wants something from me. Just be humanly, I would say.
Yeah. I feel this would have answered Mushtaba's question, but Mushtaba, let us know if you need more information about it. We are happy to chat something more extension on it. I feel Tarzan is African on networking, so he can share more tips around it. Oh, I think that was good. So, as we come to the end of the show, I would like to thank Tarzan once again for coming up, taking the time to talk to us, to answer all our questions, and give us insights on something that's very important and crucial in today's life that's about networking.
Uh, Sorry, sorry about
Yeah.
that. My internet is really off and on. Sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
Yeah, so Tarzan, as we come to the end, I just want to thank you for coming to the show and sharing all those valuable insights you had for us.
Thank you so much for actually having me. I didn't know this community existed, but after watching the Instagram and also the Facebook channel, I was really inspired. The thing that this community is doing and the people that this community is bringing in, and I think it is really important, for like actually to have this kind of platform, because it's in this time of virtual world. Like the only thing that we have is the laptop and the phone in front of us, and seeing people coming to this platform and talking about real thing, and that actually inspires a lot. Hopefully I was able to share a few good insights as well, and I really apologize for my internet breaking down.
That's all right, Tarzan. But again, kudos to Saleha for starting this show and always managing things back in. So thanks a lot, Tarzan. It was lovely talking to you.